Sheila vs. Remy, Electra fired, Zen spy chapter. The bold and the beautiful recap. In today's episode, Sheila Carter sharp warns Remy Pryce. Bold and the beautiful recap highlights Electra Forrester is dismissed. Plus, the Forrester family pushes Zende Forrester Dominguez to stay on board at the company. The bold and the beautiful recap highlights spoilers. Eric Forrester's lost B&B recap Steffy Forrester Finnegan. Eric wants to know how they are going to cope with this. Eric wants to know if Brooke Logan can reason with Hope Logan. Does Brooke have any understanding regarding this? Ridge doesn't know, he wasn't with her last night. All three discuss about how bizarre it is not going to work. At the office, Carter Walton boxes up Ridge and Steffy's stuff. Carter said he will keep one of the images. Hope walks in with coffee and Carter informs her on all the work he's done thus far. Carter is pressing forward with making Forrester Creations into a luxury brand. Carter adds he wants to accomplish it fast. Carter wants to employ Hope back, if she will accept. Hope asks if Carter knows any lawyers who can check over the deal. Carter smiles. B&B recap, Katie Logan's horror. Katie Logan stares at the images of Electra that were delivered to her. The camera zooms across to Il Giardino, where at the bar, Remy marvels at those same photographs. Remy recalls back to his sleazy scheme. Sheila approaches and can see Remy is distracted. Remy says he's merely thinking about a pal. Electra is at work and announces she's requested an intern to help with a photo shoot. Will Spencer jokes that he's not any old intern. Will and Electra arrange the space for the photo session. Will talks about the rewards of the job. Electra plans on sticking around. Carter and Hope flirt while discussing the terms of her re-employment. Hope wants access to the man in command. Carter says she belongs there. Hope gushes about how happy she is to have Carter by her side. Carter responds, always, as Hope has an odd look on her face. Ridge, Steffy, and Eric are conversing when Zende steps in. Zende says he heard about the takeover. Zende says he resigned. I'm a Forrester. I stand with my family. Electra tells Will she texted Remy. Electra recommends they all hang out. Will asks if Electra is sure they've never dated. Electra says he's just always been a super supportive friend. Electra doesn't want to harm Remy's feelings. The bold and the beautiful recap highlights, Sheila Carter offers a listening ear to Remy Forrester. Brooke enters Katie's office. Katie texted her. Brooke didn't sleep well. Ridge never came home. Brooke still feels things could work out with a little time. Katie provides her support. Katie says Logans take care of their own. Katie says there is something she has to show Brooke. Electra says Remy hasn't responded to her text yet. Will says that's unusual. Electra claims Remy was always a loner. Will suggests Electra pities Remy. Electra nervously responds no, they were both nerds in high school. Will had a hard time believing that. Electra enjoyed math and science. Electra explains art is science and talks about the unique qualities of gemstones and metals. It's really quite remarkable and Electra is definitely geeking out. It's extremely cool. Electra adds that Remy was there for her during a difficult period. B&B spoilers, Sheila Carter sharp versus Remy Pryce. The bold and the beautiful recap states that Remy says he is only checking on a friend online. Remy concerns about people sharing about their dinner on social media. Sheila reasons that it's crucial whether that supper is from Il Giardino. Remy tries to smooth things over. Sheila angrily urges Remy get back to work since Deacon sharp doesn't appreciate a slacker. Remy knows he's on very thin ice but returns to his phone anyhow. Katie says she got an email with photographs of Electra. Katie shows Brooke the images. Katie doesn't know what to do. Katie explains her son is dating Electra. Katie says she doesn't know who sent them and there was no message, just the images. Brooke is horrified. But Electra appeared so nice and innocent, Brooke adds. Katie claims Electra isn't lovely and innocent. Katie adds they can't have any negative PR, not during a crisis like the takeover. Brooke agrees. Brooke says that Electra has to be terminated. Carter is going to completely fund Hope for the future. Carter says they are going all in. Hope swears not to let Carter down. Ivy Forrester knocks and enters. Ivy heard the news. Carter claims it won't damage the jewelry line. Ivy asks if she's meant to come to Carter for approval now. Carter says yes. Ivy admits this is odd given she's a Forrester. How do Eric, Ridge, and Steffy feel about this? Zende tells Eric, Ridge, and Steffy about Carter and Hope trying to keep him on board. Ridge thanks Zende for his loyalty. Steffy advises Zende reconsider. Ridge clarifies that they need someone on the inside until they can take Forrester Creations back. Remy pouts in his room as he thinks back to Electra, saying they are friends. Remy also thinks about Will forcing him out of Forrester Creations, then Electra rejecting him. Remy seems like he's about to cry. Katie says they need to think about the company, and her son. Ivy enters. Katie believes they need to fire Electra. Carter wants to control the narrative before the Forrester family can put their spin on it. Carter expects there will be ramifications. Carter says they are on their own. Zende is shocked. Zende doesn't know if he can work with Carter and Hope after what they did. Everyone attempts to sway Zende's perspective and explain how he would be a hero. Steffy says the takeover won't last long. Ivy is confused and talks about Electra's talent.
Katie admits that Electra's work is great. Katie says that Electra isn't a good fit for the company. Ivy isn't buying it. Ivy wants a real cause. Electra enters. Katie states that Electra is fired. Electra's eyes widen, and her mouth drops open in shock as ominous music plays in the background. The bold and the beautiful recap. Remy smirks to himself as he adds in a sing-song way, "Say goodbye to Will." Carter wants Hope to be part of taking Forrester into the future. Carter values her viewpoint. Hope appreciates having her viewpoint valued. Hope has faith in Carter's vision. Hope beams at Carter. Carter needs a good CEO. Carter is managing the LLC and building the brand. But someone else needs to operate the day-to-day. Carter thinks he knows the perfect person. Eric advises they keep together. They are fighters. Ridge comments about Carter's weaknesses. He doesn't understand fashion. Ridge and Steffy foresee that Carter and Hope will fail. Carter suggests Brooke as CEO. Hope is overjoyed. Hope says it's brilliant. Hope kisses Carter. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Bill's killer heroism foreshadows Remy's grim fate. The bold and the beautiful spoilers state that Remy Pryce has targeted Electra Forrester. Obsessed and possessive. Remy has already proved to have a nasty and vengeful temper. While Remy's attacks are through the computer, he could be more harmful than anyone thinks. With Bill Spencer giving Luna Nozawa a reality check, may that have been a foreshadowing of Bill committing a killer heroic act? Keep reading and let's chat about what could happen next in this scenario. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Remy Pryce's Obsession B&B spoilers suggest that Remy arrived to Los Angeles shortly after finding Electra. Although Remy stated he was there for a fresh start, it was really to stalk Electra. In the past, Electra was humiliated and tormented when phony photographs of her bare body circulated. Electra mentioned that even her own best friends wouldn't talk to her. Now we know that Remy was responsible and is doing it again. Remy interrupted Electra at her new job with a pizza. If Remy had just dropped off the pizza and left, that would be one thing. However, Remy wanted to hang out. So of course, Will Spencer stated they were busy working. It's not simply that but a strange sensation that Will receives from Remy. B&B spoilers. Bill Spencer's reality check going over to Bill. He ended up seeing Luna in prison after she sent many letters. Luna kept attempting to get her hooks back into Bill. Luna claimed they were so much alike. However, Bill made it plain that he has never taken a human life. That might be true, but Bill has done a lot of other awful things. Could Bill's statement to Luna have been a clue of what is coming up? The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Will Spencer's threat. The bold and the beautiful spoilers state that Will is worried by Remy continuously sticking about Electra. Will goes to El Giardino and warns Remy not to spoil things for Electra. Remy seems to burst and bites back at Will. Without batting an eyelash, Will continues warning Remy. What Will doesn't comprehend is that the harm has already been done. While Will is threatening Remy, Katie Logan and Brooke Logan tell Electra that she's dismissed from Forrester Creations. Electra appears genuinely baffled and wants to know why. That is when Katie and Brooke give each other a knowing glance. Then, a shot shows Electra with her head buried in her hands. Will is by Electra, and has a furious glare on his face. Will isn't glaring at Electra, but presumably will get the gut sensation that Remy is at blame. And bedpost posted equals 546465 BNB spoilers, killer heroism. If Remy is addressed, he could utterly spiral. Remy is already proving himself to be highly unstable. Remy can't even cover for long without his rage pouring out. So, if confronted, Remy might lash out in hazardous ways. While Will would love to play hero for Electra, I have a feeling that it might be Bill. If Bill does save Electra and Will from Remy, there could be a negative aspect to this heroic act. While Electra and Will be protected from Remy, may Bill suffer through a mental health crisis after taking a life. Sometimes people underestimate the influence something like this has on the human mind. So remain tuned. Steffy and Ridge find an inside man. Zen's secret mission. As Steffy talked to Ridge Forrester and Eric Forrester at the Cliff House, they agreed they weren't going into work. Zende Forrester Dominguez also showed up to declare that he was retiring since he had to stay faithful to his family. Although Ridge, Steffy, and Eric admired that commitment, they asked Zende to be their man on the inside at Forrester Creations and advocate their interests until they could regain control. Steffy made a prediction about Carter and Hope's day of reckoning coming soon. Therefore, she didn't think their takeover would continue long. Ridge backed Steffy up by stating there'd be no rescue for Carter and Hope when they plummeted. At Forrester Creations, Carter announced he was reinstating Hope and bringing back her line with all the funds she needed. Hope wouldn't have to scrape by anymore, so was thankful and swore not to let Carter down. Carter also wanted to select a CEO. So Hope was astonished he wasn't going to fill the post himself, since Carter would be managing the LLC and focusing on company expansion. He wanted someone to help with the day-to-day operations. When Carter mentioned Brooke Logan would be the perfect person for the job, Hope was happy and assumed her mom would be, too. In the design office, Katie provided Brooke updates on images that popped up in her inbox and allowed her see one for herself. Brooke was stunned over a snapshot of a supposedly unclothed Electra. Katie felt they couldn't afford a big controversy at Forrester right now, so Brooke decided they'd have to cut Electra loose. Ivy Forrester spoke to Carter and Hope about the jewelry line still being good to go, but she sounded a little weirded out with the takeover news. Once Ivy was brought to the design office, she was taken surprise to find Katie and Brooke planned to get rid of Electra. That left Ivy with plenty of questions about why on B&B episode. In the Forrester salon, Electra filled Will Spencer and on her previous acquaintance with Remy Pryce and how they both used to be nerds in high school. Remy was extremely interested in computer science, so Electra noted that. Electra was soon called to come up to the design office, where she was surprised when Katie informed they'd have to let her go. At Il Giardino, Sheila Sharp noticed Remy ruminating over his phone and eventually told him to get back to work since Deacon Sharp didn't appreciate a slacker. Later, Remy flashed back to Electra's rejection in the Forrester salon and the attitude Will gave him. After Remy sobbed and thought about the bogus images he made, he eventually said Electra should say goodbye to Will. B&B spoilers. Ridge Forrester's cruelty to Brooke's granddaughter was last straw. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say that Ridge Forrester's insistence on Brooke Logan choose between Hope Logan and him is the last straw. Ridge didn't care to throw granddaughter out on the street too. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Ridge Forrester has been Beth Spencer's grandfather. The bold and the beautiful spoilers suggest that Ridge has taken on the role of grandfather to Beth Spencer. However, now that Ridge wants Hope gone, he didn't care that he wanted Beth kicked out as well. Ridge definitely doesn't care much for Brooke's granddaughter at all. How could Ridge turn not only on her daughter, but on a child that has been nurtured as their grandchild as well? Ridge wants nothing to do with Hope or her child, and that is really terrible considering how long they have been in his life. However, it seems that Ridge is happy to move on with Taylor Hayes instead. B&B spoilers. Ridge Forrester's ultimatum is about himself in all honesty. Ridge's ultimatum has nothing to do with him not wanting to live near Hope. Hope resides in the cabin and mostly stays there. Hope doesn't want to run into Ridge any more than he wants to see her. However, Ridge's ultimatum is terrible to the granddaughter, who has no concept why she would have to be leaving her home. Ridge is all about punishing Hope right now, and there is nothing right about punishing Beth too. Obviously, Ridge doesn't care how this is harming Brooke either. You wouldn't imagine Ridge kicking one of his kids off the property on Brooke's demands. Brooke isn't changing her answer no matter what Ridge has to say. The bold and the beautiful spoilers, Ridge Forrester needs an excuse, let's be honest. Steffy Forrester has been pushing Ridge and Taylor together from the start. Ridge had accused Steffy of this and promised it wouldn't work. However, Steffy has received exactly what she desired. Ridge is right there at Steffy's with Taylor. Of course, Ridge is blaming Hope for him being at Steffy's. However, none of it is anyone's fault because Ridge has enabled Steffy to place beliefs about Hope in his brain, and he is using that to demonize her. When will Ridge discover that Steffy has twisted him one more time, and he realized it far too late? At Steffy's, Eric questioned Ridge if Brooke could reason with Hope, but Ridge disclosed he hadn't seen her the night before. He said that he couldn't be around Hope, so he left. Steffy wondered what they were going to do. Eric couldn't imagine that Brooke could protect Hope. As they were discussing, Zende strolled in. "Good. I thought you'd all be here," he said. He claimed he had heard about the takeover, and he was resigning. "I'm a Forrester. I'm standing with my family," Zende added firmly. Zende mentioned that Hope and Carter tried to get him on board as the principal designer for HFDF. He said that he would never betray his family and knew they had done a coup. Steffy and Ridge told Zende that they respected his decision, but thought he should rethink and continue on at Forrester. Ridge thought it would be nice to have someone represent their interests until they took Forrester back. Zende couldn't believe they wanted him to work for Carter and Hope after what they did. They emphasized that they couldn't have the company go under, and he was a skilled designer who would help prevent that from occurring. Ridge noted it would also be helpful to have someone on the inside. Steffy said that the takeover wouldn't last, and their day of reckoning will be there before they knew it. Eric informed his family that there was nothing they couldn't do if they stuck together. Ridge stated that while Carter was a smart businessman and was clever, he didn't know fashion. He doesn't have the experience, the talent, the vision. That's what keeps Forrester alive, right? Ridge added, "We're this company. Those of us in this room," Eric continued. They understood that Carter and Hope would sink without their support. "And there's no help in sight," Ridge remarked. In the CEO's office, Carter arranged for a meeting with all of the department heads. He told Hope he was gathering an acquisitions team to start implementing his strategy to develop Forrester into a global luxury brand. Hope thought it was exciting to observe Carter's vision coming to reality. Carter stated he had an official piece of business as the man in charge. He wanted to hire her back. Carter and Hope flirted while she accepted the employment. She thanked him for supporting her. Carter told Hope that HFDF was and always has been a key component of the organization. "It always will be. You belong here," Carter added. Hope took a long breath and let that sink in. Carter stated to Hope that he would be completely supporting HFDF later that day. He told her she would get all the resources she needed, and Hope pledged never to let him down. Ivy stepped in and said she had heard the news that he was in charge now. Carter told Ivy the jewelry line would not be affected. Ivy was relieved, but being a Forrester, she wondered how Ridge, Steffy, and her uncle Eric felt about the move. Hope told Carter that Katie was working on a press statement to control the narrative regarding the leadership shift before Ridge, Steffy, and Eric could put a spin on it. Hope stated Katie's release would contain the announcement that Carter was in charge without any mention of turmoil. Carter cautioned there might be fallout, but Hope stated they would just remain optimistic, and that way, whatever that the Forresters said would just appear like bitterness. Carter believed it was a fine concept, and remarked they were on their own as he wasn't sure that Ridge, Steffy, or Eric would ever come back. Carter informed Hope he wanted her to be a crucial part of the team he was recruiting to lead Forrester into the future. She stated she should invest some of her energy into HFDF. Carter stated he valued her expertise and opinion, so she accepted to be on the team. She informed Carter she had great faith in his vision for the company and was pleased to stay by his side throughout it all. Carter noted that for a good team, a CEO is needed for the day-to-day stuff. He got an idea and smiled. "I think I know the perfect person," he remarked. Carter recommended that Brooke should be the CEO. Hope was filled with pleasure and exclaimed how she couldn't wait to tell her. "I love you so much," Hope said him as they kissed. In the salon, Will came to help Electra set up for a photo shoot. Given his background, she worried if Will was overqualified as an intern, but he thought everyone needed to start somewhere. Electra was glad, as she didn't plan on traveling anywhere soon. Electra explained that she didn't like the way things were left with Remy, so she texted him. She hoped they could all hang out, and Will could see his bright side. She stated that they had never dated but observed that he was a terrific, supportive friend but sensitive. Electra stated she would feel horrible if she did anything to damage his feelings. Will thought it was weird that Remy hadn't responded to her text yet. Electra passed it off as Remy being a loner. She stated they were both nerds in high school, but Will couldn't see how it was remotely possible. She explained him how jewelry was also about science. Will noted she was lovely and knowledgeable. Electra mentioned that Remy loves computer science, and he was there for her during a difficult period. Electra stated everything was behind her, but she didn't know what she would have done without Remy's support.